us again. I don't think I can do this job, Tim. As soon as I lay down, all I see are those kids' faces. How long you been doing this? 12 years. How do you do it? It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's gonna pass the drug trade.
Señor Timoteo, tú rescatas niños, ¿verdad? Quizá puedas ayudarme a encontrar a mi hermana.
Imagine walking into a room right now, seeing an empty bed. What would we do?
We're Homeland Security. You know we can't go off rescuing kids in Colombia.
This job tears you to pieces. This is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
We're talking about extracting an 11-year-old girl from an army of rebels.
Not just her. I'm talking about rescuing hundreds of kids.
She could be a block down the road, or she could be in Moscow, Bangkok, LA.
Over 2 million children a year are being sucked into the deepest recesses of hell. If we do nothing, someday it's gonna reach the likes of you. What if this was your daughter?
Wherever I go, I'll find my way.
I wanna go outside again. I wanna sit back with the windows down and breathe it all in. I wanna go outside again.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
It's time to stop staring at this Dunkin' sausage, egg, and cheese. And time to go get...
If there's one thing I know, it's this. You take the best that God's given you, and you make the most of it. Take the dirt and put your plow in it, and it'll give you something back. Hit the sky with enough know-how, and you can call the heavens your own. You take nothing for granted, and leave nothing on the table, and there's nothing you can't do. But you probably already know that, because you're here. You know it's about brotherhood, sisterhood, neighborhood, and doing good. Because the richest people I know trade in a currency called pride. They pour it into everything they do. They pour it into barrels of Kentucky oak. They pour it into Pennsylvania ore and make Milwaukee steel. They pour it into a 10-hour day, and then pour it into a tank and a weekend. Because the only party that really matters is the one you're having tonight. This is a party born in the back of American freedom, united with the understanding that there's no better place to raise a flag, raise a son or daughter, or expectations. Because that's what you can do when you call the greatest country on earth home. Here's a toast to America, to being born free, We don't just raise a cup, a glass, or a bottle. No, we raise the whole bar.
Happy 4th of July.
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth and never need a dentist again.
Happy 4th of July. Song opening montage. Charlie Chaplin. About that.
What was I going to say? The movie?
On the Freedom. That was
Really,
really touching. How
how
can
can
we
we
let
let
get away
go
with it
of
so
so
long?
long?
It's accepted.
You know, murdered,
Committed suicide.
This is my patriotic, or I don't know if it's patriotic or not. My 4th of July painting. Sorry, I should have that. This way, but that's all right. Nothing to see here. Pretty much for a while. You still have had a lot.
Necessarily. Check. Check. Check.
All right. I've been thinking lots about it. And I can even, I can complain about stuff as well. Word, well, really in this country too, you could say the wrong word. And end up with a black suit with a black hood over your head and nobody ever know what happened to you. Complain about things without, offering solutions. I mean, that's, we do have some pretty great, we had some pretty great things. Or, story goes, we maybe, I guess it's kind of like Matrix in a way that you choose to believe you're free and that nothing's wrong. You pretty much live and die without knowing anything wrong. Yes, it's your time to sleep or to be awake. It's sort of disrespectful. What was this spirit on? Crazy. I thought I was pretty smart, pretty educated, and well read. And the thing is, like, if there were somebody that was trying to misguide us, mislead us, they have to be pretty good at it and pretty be dedicated to the process of doing that. Once you do that, I think you have to. There's no going back. Whenever this die was cast long ago, I had to just work it. Don't really have a choice, you know. It's this whole thing with that I've been kind of closing, all the architecture. Maybe you've spread, maybe not. I should not assume. It's a boy. That's a rabbit hole. Right down. But there's things that seem to me, at least apparent to me, that we haven't been told the truth about. For lack of a better word, a massive cover-up. The only way you can call it, or like a retelling of history. Now it's circumstantial evidence, I guess. I mean, but it's not really. It's kind of things written down that don't really seem to make sense. So, sense that's evidence, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily conclusively show anything, like actual records on buildings like that. These great big cathedral type buildings. I'll say that they were built less crazy architect. One guy, never went to school. Actually, that stuff. Suddenly, he's a master builder and knows how all of this stuff, including the crazy, amazing, intricate details of the inside. I mean, you look at it, you really start to do that. And there's no record really. There'll be like an architect listed. Maybe, I doubt it, but maybe there'll be a construction company, but almost guaranteed there's not. Just be the architect listed as the person, and it's done in a year's time. And there's no possible way. No possible. Especially at the time when you didn't have a lot of power tools, were mostly non-existent until 1995. Some of the stuff out west was before the trains got there, so how'd you get all the supplies out there by wagon? Anyway, so that's just one part of it that kind of led me down what's the point of just, we can't do anything about it, but it seems to be a system that was so carefully placed. And look at the one part of it that I've just kind of really covered is Carnegie, who was the philanthropist who got all this money and such a good guy, gave it all back. 80%. I think it's just to cover this. I mean, it had to cover the story somehow, so he basically put all these libraries in every town. Meanwhile, Rockefeller and two other big guys, I can't remember off the top of my head, they basically got 20 historians to go overseas so they could basically have a re-education of what they want them to be teaching. And so these 20 historians, at least I think so. I have a YouTube video of the guy telling about this. He's old. He's probably passed away by now, but he's part of a congressional, what does they call that? Like a congressional inquisition, I guess. Not really an inquisition, but to check on the charitable groups, Rockefellers and library guy, Carnegie, and others. They said, sure, you can check our books, and apparently that was the kids of the kids or grandkids of the original one. Yeah, sure, you can check the books and all that, no big deal. Guy who was doing this, the investigating, was shocked that they said okay, because he knew that there was stuff in the books, and figured that there would be. And but apparently the kids hadn't bothered to read the books themselves, like the the minutes that the family would have, the meetings and all that stuff that told some, I guess, some condemning stuff anyway. So this guy was investigating. He hired a girl to do it who was not into the conspiracy theories at all, and he wanted to make sure she was somebody who would not be that sort of, not favoring that. And I guess it was so. She went and spent 2 weeks going through all this stuff, and I guess she basically lost her mind. So against what she thought or whatever, that caused her to lose her mind. That aspect. Basically, there was, in my mind, they put in the system in place to change history right there, like in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And everything that we read, I'm almost guaranteeing we'll find filters out of these 20 historians in that period. Everything else has pretty much been just away. But there's still lingering tales. There's interesting things all over the place. Those old newspaper articles. I found one the other night, for instance. Johnson, Pocahontas, I don't know if you remember that Indian tale or Thanksgiving, Happy Thanksgiving. Well, that was all made up by John Smith, who kind of sounds like a womanizer. At least when he would allow women to rescue him, and he would say that that's what happened. That they rescued him, and really didn't even know him. He never even he met Pocahontas years later, but he didn't know her at that point. And everybody knew it. At least several people at the time knew it, and they just didn't say anything about it. That's just a big story that was just, for just one guy. So really, history is so, I don't know, so easily twisted. There have been a lot of self-serving people in charge of watching books and making sure our history is right. Can't believe that we never put this two and two together, but it's only the richest guy in all the world, Rockefeller. I mean, at least at the time, he looks like he's old devil too. Sorry, Rockefeller. No, I'm not really sorry either. Shouldn't be judged like he did. If he did everything, so shouldn't be hard or not. That goes and goes. And then you start with greed and power to nest. That's crazy to me. I can't imagine you doing that. I'm not like a saint or anything. Black mark on my soul for whatever. So there's the parts. So I guess we could break ground on the quantum stew. That's podcasting. And basically, it's everything quantum, but I should probably give you a definition. It's everything you think it is, and then it's not that. I don't know. It's a really difficult concept. I'm certainly not theory smart. Understand. So that's the kind of the point of the thing is like to get people who know more than me to come and talk to me about it and tell me what's real and what's not. Not really tell me, because we have to. That's the thing is we're supposed to be. We have to be. It's not even supposed to be. We have to be starting to trust our gut. Only our instincts. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but truth and not truth. It's so easy to be manipulated now. It's crazy how things that we've got in the world I could make a maybe not. Hollywood. Certainly didn't make which stuff. They just do. It looks nothing like it. It is. I'm not sure if I'm happy about that or not. Don't know how I feel about that. Okay. was gonna be sunshine there. So they took it all dark.